Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Liz and I love you guys. It's so great having this channel and meeting all you wonderful people who are crafters like me, trying to figure out their intrinsic values, what makes them happy as they create art. So welcome new, welcome old. Welcome to some new ones that I want to talk about right now. Mary Lou Auntie Loopy. I love the name of your channel. It's just fun. Tammy Bowers has come by. Thank you very much, Tammy. Maggie D at Practical Daisy. She has a YouTube channel, so see if you can find her and check her out. Cheryl Talifus, some fun and friendly comments from her. I appreciate that very much. A Meredith, that is how she shows herself on the channel. So I would just really want to thank all of the people who have come by my channel in the last 2020, in this last year, all the craziness that's gone on. For me, my channel has gone a little bit, has gained more subscribers and viewers and things that I didn't expect. And I'm happy to report I gained 190 subscribers in 2020. That blows me away because I don't know how that happens. One of my videos got over 600 views in less than 3 weeks and I don't even know how that happened. I'm glad it did. And it's just been a lot of fun to watch. And I'm not a number watcher much. It's more about sharing art and things like that. But I just am so thankful for you all. It really has made this journey, my little community is getting a little bigger, but I still want to go back and say thank you to people every now and then, because I don't have a YouTube channel if I don't have YouTube followers and viewers and such. And honestly, I'm hoping that my content is something that you're interested in. So I love that you are commenting and giving me insight into what you want to see and things like that. So, because I'm here for you, I'm here for me too, but because I just like doing this. Anyhow, I just hope I give you great ideas, just help you find your intrinsic values. So, on that note of thanking my viewers, I have to give Laura some credit. I don't know what her last name is, but she signed her name Aloha Laura in one of her comments, so I'm guessing she might be Hawaiian. So, you know, mele kalikimaka, yeah. But she asked me from one of my recent videos what supplies I like to use and that are my favorites for some of the art that I do. So I thought, well, why not make a video of that? Because there are some things here that I think might be a little different what some people have. And there's so many options out there. So I will show you what I use for my journaling. For my journal. I've got my journal out here. So I've got my journal on my mind. But for what I use in my art projects, whether that is a glue book or my Bible journaling, whether it is in my junk journaling, other art journaling. I'm going to go through some of my supplies today. I can't give you all of them. That would be a long video, but anyway, so I just wanted to show you some of my favorites, some of my go-tos that are very close at hand, that I pick up almost every time I do some project. So this is my YouTube junk journal journey, my YouTube journey junk journal that I started in 2019 in April. That's when I started. I love this junk journal. It's not really a supply, except for the fact that it was a journal to begin with that I gutted, and I added my own pages. And this is what I track all my YouTube ideas, my YouTube music sources right there, and just let's see what else, focusing, and some of the YouTube artists that I follow, last 2019, and I'll do the same thing with 2020. It'll be clumped together. What else? Oh, just thoughts and things that work, things that don't work, things I want to try. And I've still got lots of pages in here that I can add to it. and also add to it my new subby lists and things like that. So this is one of my favorite things in this pen. This pen was a gift, and I love this pen. And it just kind of slips right in there, and I close her up and set her aside. It's one of my favorite things. But when I do my drawing, let's start with my supplies that I use for drawing. When I have my drawing out, I'm usually grabbing this pouch. So having a pouch that you like is fun. This was a gift from my daughter when she, and it's starting to snag, and I'm sad about that. But I think she got this in South Korea when she was doing a YWAM thing. So anyway, so I put my pens in here, and it's easy to take along. I have a couple different pouches that I sometimes use as well, but around the house, this one's kind of the one that I grab. So for my black pens, let's see, this is how I'm trying to start out with drawing and writing supplies first. So with my black pens, I like the microns, the regular microns. They are archival ink, and let's zoom you in a little so you can see closer. Look, and I've used up some of them. This is an 05, an 02, an 01, and I might have some elsewhere. 03. I think 03 is the one that I use the most. Yeah. So I really like microns. Those work really well. The tips don't smash, I've noticed, and that is a thing. You have to be careful. Sometimes the tips will smash if you press them down too hard, or if you get a knockoff brand, you got to make sure that that's not a knockoff, okay? Also, I enjoy Copic multi-liners, and I think I did get a knockoff brand on these once upon a time because the tips did smash. But I've got several different Copic pen sets, and part of the reason is I invested in only one set, but my daughters used to live at a Copic distribution center in Eugene, Oregon, that is no longer there. And then I got Copic pens. They bought me paper, and then some of the cool protractor and some other supplies that I got from them, and they were going to be thrown away or discontinued. Or there was some sort of a scratch on it or something. But I got a bunch of pens from Copic that I use here and there, and I've got. But yeah, all kinds. So a brush small, and I'm not crazy about the brush on these. Let me get a piece of paper here. The brush small, and maybe it's because I don't know quite how to use it, but if I'm gonna write my name, it's I don't know. It's hard to. I don't think I know how to use it right, but that's the brush small, and my brush large on this. See, I've got two brush smalls, brush medium, I should say, and it's fat and thick. And this is a good one for making thick lines, but as you can see, it kind of feathers right there. So if I go smash straight down, it's okay, but if I side, it feathers a little bit. So it's not a pure clean line on the end, but that might be because it's old. I've probably used it a lot, but yeah, all kinds of two brush mediums. Anyway, and I don't know why I've got a tag on this one. For some reason I do. There's a reason. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I like my Copics, but there is one of them. I have an 03 here, and the tip is let me get the camera there. The tip is crooked. For some reason, it came out, and you can see how it isn't on there straight. And I know there's a way to replace the tips and to fix the tips so that they're not, I don't know. There is a way. I just haven't figured it out. And I've got enough pens. I'm not worried about it. Okay, so those are the black Copics. I have this Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen, and it's the extra small, and it does super fine lines. Super fine. That's super fine. I also have the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen Big Brush. It's like the Big Bertha brush. And that gives me fat lines. I like this one for doodling on my painted papers. And I leave that over here, not in my bag. I've also got a Crayola in here, a Sharpie in here. Oh, and these pens are nice for writing. It's a Pentel Energel X05, and it has a nice line for it. It glides really smooth. This is a good journaling pen. Really good journaling pen. I like this for journaling. And I also have these. I have 3 of these. I don't know where the other one's at. Oh, here. These 3 Tombow. These are calligraphy pens. And again, I don't know how to use them really well. I'm not versed well in calligraphy, and it's just something I want to learn more about, but I haven't invested a lot of time into learning that. So let me just write the word Tombow. And as you can see, it's feathered, and it's not a real thick line on it either. But one thing I like about this pen that I've used a lot, it has 2 sides, and it's got a gray, so you can use it for shadowing. And I use it a lot for that, and that's easy. Makes it just a little more dimension. So that's good. These are the same kind of a thing. This one has more of a rubber tip, more of a plastic push tip. And again, not quite sure how I use these. And it's not a real dark on it. See how I had to go over that again. Not real dark on there. Where's the third one here? This one isn't as wide of a stroke. So I've got those 3 pens, but I'm not real crazy about how they write. I have to end up having to go over. So I'm just saying, if you're gonna get a couple of these, use them. I've had them a while. Figure out how to use them well. Enjoy using them well, because I don't. But I love the gray part. And I use these for Bible journaling too. They do work for Bible journaling, as do these. These don't go through. My Copics don't go through for Bible journaling. And so that's a plus. I love that about them. And neither do the Microns. So got that. I'm gonna keep this one out because excuse me. White pens. Let me just show you what I got for my white pens. Let me move that over. And I am partial to jelly rolls, not just to eat them. Actually, do you remember in home ec, if you ever took home ec back in the day, jelly rolls were one of the first things that I learned how to make in home ec. Yeah. But now they make pens. And this was a 3 set. I've got an 08, an 05, and I had a 10, and I've used up my 10 already. But I'm gonna turn this over. But I really like how these write. Coming back down to you. So if I'm just gonna make a squiggly line, these write really well. And they color in pretty nicely if you want to do it that with them. And they show up really well on a dark paper. So that's the 5 for finer lines, and this is the 8 for thicker lines. And these pens have really good coverage. I really like these pens for coverage. Okay. Now I also have the Uniball Signos. So there's so many different white pens. If you go on Amazon and look up white pens, Uniball Signos probably come up one of the first times of the things that you see, and then jelly rolls will be next, and that's because they're really popular. But I have to tell you that I like the jelly rolls better for the simple reason they don't skip. These will skip, and it's not because I'm pressing too hard. Because with these you have to press lightly, and it's just the coverage isn't as good. So I'm just saying, of the preference in white pens so far, I like the Jelly Rolls. This is the same pen, but you can see I've used it a little more. There's a little less ink in there. But look at how it skips. So not my favorite, and I got to go back and, you know, fix it. And it just doesn't cover very well. I tried to use these on something that I made the other day, and I didn't have these out. I couldn't find these because they were in my pouch, and my pouch was somewhere else, blah, 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 this and that. But it didn't turn out the way I want. I wanted a highlight on my painting, but it didn't show up that well. Anyway, so the Jelly Rolls are better for the white, and also for a white pen if you want. I've got a Posca, and this does good coverage. This is like a fat coverage for but even then on dark surfaces, kind of have to let it dry, and then you have to go over it again. So it still works. It's still something that I use quite often. These Posca pens, also another item that I enjoy using with my painted papers for doodling on, and then just for fun. So Posca, this is the small set. Let me pull you back. This is the thinner set, and you know, there's very little English on here. Uni. I mean, that's about it. So, but these are the set of 8, the small tips, and I have the large tips too. But they're hard, you still can't make a very fine line with them, as you can see. So those are the pens that I enjoy using. Other colored pens that I use, if you can find a set of Creative Memories, these pens are color fast. They work in Bible journaling on the very thin pages. They also are archival, so they will not bleed, they will not fade. If you can get a set of pens, and they have, this is a fine tip. They also had, this is also very old, so I don't know what the colors are anymore that they sell. I haven't researched Creative Memories products in a long time. But yeah, they have chisel tips and fine tips. And also they have round tips. That's a bold, but they call it bold tip. The chisel tips are called bold tips, but their round tips are this. And they have a nice, well, that one's getting kind of old. Again, I've had these for such a long time. I don't even remember when I bought them. But look at how nice that line is. There's no feathering. It's very consistent. So just saying, quality pens. If you want quality markers and quality pens and other things, Creative Memories does a really good job with their standards. They have very high standards because they're a scrapbooking company. And so if you're gonna make scrapbooking stuff, they wanna make sure that you're gonna get the best. And you might pay for it, but it's an investment, because honestly, I've had those for such a long time. Let's move on to my painting supplies that I like. My watercolor painting, I enjoy these Kuretake, this Kuretake set. Kuretake, teriyaki, Kuretake. So look for that. If you're gonna buy some, look for that right there. And these come in different sizes. I like this set, but they come in smaller sets, you know, if finances are a thing. But again, I would consider this an investment. If you're going to buy paint sets, buy something like this. Although I've seen beautiful work done with Crayola watercolor sets. So, you know, you got the frugal crafter who will paint with anything and it comes out gorgeous. So yeah, I just kind of splurged on that for myself. Also, let me show you these. These are watercolor pencils. Low Cornell, Simply Art, and they say creativity made easy. Well, I have to agree with them. These things are awesome. You can take your watercolor pencil and draw something like this. You know, I'm not making a big deal out of anything here. Make a flower, right? And it just, you can use them as colored pencils. Let's pull you in a little just so you can get a closer look. Use them as a colored pencil like that, and just do some shading if you like, or you know, whatever you want to do with them. They're a very soft lead, so they're easy to work with. But then when you go ahead and add watercolor brushes, and this is just a 3-pack from Amazon, and you add water into the reservoir here via this turn little thing here, and then it comes into, you squeeze it, it says push, you don't have to necessarily push too bad, but yeah, and this is 3 sizes of brushes. As you can see, I live in a high altitude, so these things sometimes have a mind of their own, and they'll start oozing on me when I don't want them to. But the 3 sizes, so very thick, medium, and then thin. And then you have the water in the reservoir, you push it, and then you can do whatever you want with it. And it just brings out the color, the pigment of the pencil. And these are nice to work with in my Bible journaling as well. But they work well on watercolor paper. Let me grab a piece of that and give you an example. Because this is just cardstock. So you can, let me do something here. Get something pretty, get a blue. And you can use these in a couple different ways, like I just showed you. But then you can take the tip of your water brush, and do something to that effect. You can use these in a lot of different ways. Yeah, and these are great for traveling too. If you want to bring you don't want to bring a whole watercolor set with you, but you want to bring something to color with, you bring these, and you bring your watercolor set, watercolor pencils, and and look what it does to that. Isn't that pretty? You just bring that, and you are set to go. So yeah, there's my watercolors like that. The only thing, you want to be careful not to get water on the wood part. Someone told me that once. As you can see on my black, I already did that. But yeah, I like that a lot, like those tools. Anyway, set those are my watercolors. Watercolor brushes, watercolor pens. So that's my watercolor supplies that I like. I use a lot. Oh, I forgot to talk about these. These things are amazing as well. Now, this is a knockoff brand of watercolor brushes, and it came in like this massive set. Oh, I forgot to tuck my paintbrush as toe. Hold on a second. Where'd my other one go? Oh, yeah. So these, again, they're a knockoff brand, and there's some nice brands out there. So, but I've got a flash sale on these, and they sucked me in. I'm going to use a different color. That's blue. Just use blue, right? Let's try what the red looks like here. But the funny thing is, they don't really have, they have kind of numbers on them and that, but they don't have really a color name on them. So this is red. So what can we make with red? We could do that and wait for it. Where's the green? So these are super easy to work with. And again, these are nice things to have when you travel. If you are on a traveling, you've got to go somewhere and you want to bring some art, your husband's going to go skiing or something, you need something to do, you want to be artistic, but you don't know what to do, you just bring these things along and you are set. You sit with your hot cocoa or your coffee or your whatever your drink of choice is, and just color. Just color. Pretty, isn't that pretty? It's so easy. You know, when craft supplies make your creative creative sessions easier, I'm all in. And my brushes, my watercolor brushes, what do I love here? These are silver brand. I don't even know if that's the true brand. Maybe the Black Velvet's the brand and silver is the style. But these are round brushes, 3000S for whatever that means. And I've got a 12, 8, and a 4. Now, I paid a little more for these, again, an investment. But they just, the lines that they draw are just, well, okay, refer to my previous video because I don't have to get something all out. I don't have water stuff, but anyhow, so those are my watercolor supplies that I will go to for any kind of watercolor creative session. So, and it's nice having these things. And again, I've not spent a lot of money on some of these. These were pretty cheap. These are cheap. This is not a top-of-the-line watercolor pencil set, but imagine what things would look like if I did have top-of-the-line. But this was a little spendy. I will say that. But I love it. It's wonderful. Move that aside. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about my supplies for my cutting supplies. Supplies that I use to for my junk journaling, for cutting papers for whatever reason. Yeah, what I use most. And again, I'm going back to Creative Memories, and I'm not getting paid for this at all. So, but when I was a Creative Memories consultant back in the day, I used, oh, I forgot 2 things on my drawing thing. I will come back to that. Anyway, train of thought. Okay, when I was a Creative Memories consultant, I got supplies. I bought a lot of supplies for myself, and I made lots and lots of photo albums, and I used these so much. These 2 things right here are probably the most used cutting supplies that I have besides a scissors. All right, so these will do long pages, and this comes out if you need to measure. It measures a 12 by 12 because that's, you know, scrapbook paper is 12 by 12. You can get replacement blades for this, but I just took the blade that I had off of an old. I have another one of these kind of cutters, but it has the different. It has a wave and almost a scallop edge thing like this. I just switched out the blades. And then for this, I've had this for a long time, and it's just a small cutter that works great for small collage. And it has this cute little thing here. Love it. Nice sharp blade. And this comes off too if you need, for whatever reason, if you need it to. But yeah, you slide your paper in here, you slip, and you cut. And it measures everything. It's just one of my favorite cutting tools. 2 of my favorite cutting tools, I should say. I have a big scoreboard too that does awesome things. But I've recently discovered that I like to tear paper with the ruler. You can just pull it and tear it. You know, you set it up, and it gives it that edge that you like to have on it. You line it all up, you make it go, and you tear it, and then you get this really cool edge there, really cool edge like that, you know. These are fun for junk journaling, just for tearing. But I've also noticed that this is good for this particular ruler. Okay, I need to go back a little bit. I've got several rulers, but I went and got myself this metal ruler, and it's pretty firm, and it's got this corkboard backing on it, so it's not going to slide around when you're holding things steady to get ready to cut. So if I'm going to use my utility knife here, this is a small one, and these are great. So when it's dull, when it gets to be dull, you just crack it off with something else. So it's not going to slide around on you while you cut. Nice and sturdy there. So, and I do have 2 of these utility knives. This one's just bigger, just so I have an easier way to handle it. Just ergonomically, it feels better. But, you know, I have both of these at hand, so they're easy. But to be able to cut and get a straight line, this is a good little ruler, and I got this at Walmart for, I think, $2. I mean, nothing, big deal. I have other rulers, but like they don't have this cork on the back. So for cutting supplies, that and those trips. And then I have an old Starbucks card, or any kind of credit card or gift card or something will do, and I just cut the corners off of this. So for if I want to create a tag, I have exactly on each side the same, and I don't have to flip the little corners over, and voila, identical edges, and tag ta-da. So this little doodad, super easy to have. Adhesives, let's go that way. Fabri-Tac, glad I discovered it via a million YouTube crafters. And I also enjoy extra strength Elmer's glue stick. And I know that there's Oohoo and stuff like that, but I've enjoyed this as a use for glue stick. And I'm also kind of loving my double-sided tape. I know you've got those big, huge gun type things. And I looked at the price of those, and I looked at the price of these, and I thought, I can live with this. So I'm gonna live with that. You can get packs of those on Amazon for fairly cheap. A palette knife. These palette knives will come through when you need to get rid of your empty glue sticks, like so. And this is how you use it. Well, without it falling apart. But there's a ton of glue in these things still. So if you want to put something on here, it gives it a nice thin layer. Gives it a really thin, even layer, and you can just use that to put it on. It'll glue anything. And it gets, if you miss a corner, you just get it in there and you just push it down. So, palette knife. And this is a bone folder, and you can use this for a lot of different reasons too. Stay put. Okay. And I've got Pampers Sensitive wet wipes. Wet wipes are a wonderful thing to have in your stash. Doesn't matter what brand. Cheapest brand you can get is probably the best. But to have these along because of especially for your mat, to clean up your mat from glue spills, paint spills, whatever, to clean up your fingers from glue that gets on your fingers. I need to open a new bottle of Fabri-Tac. Put it upside down and it created this glob in my jar. But the wet wipes, my best friend, because and I've said this before, glue really starts chapping my fingers, and I live at altitude and it's very low humidity where I live, so it does keep my fingers from getting too chapped. So that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope it gives you some ideas on what you can use for your supplies. Again, these are things that I like. Oh, I wanted to show you really quick. Pencil. When I draw, sometimes I have to start with a pencil. So it's a Pentel, and it's an Energized 0.5. Yeah, these pencils are great, except for they don't have much of an eraser. That's about it for the eraser. That's not gonna do me a whole lot of good. So I have a Pentel click erasers. You know, these come in packs. And yeah, so these have a really nice fine tip, and it's the kind of lead that doesn't it's a nice coverage lead, so I don't feel like it's going to rub on me I guess it does spread a little bit. If my hand's going to be on it, it'll rub off, but not as bad as, say, oh, where's my other one? I have another pencil around here somewhere. Oh, this one. These, which fit your hand really well, but the lead is softer, and it blends too well. It blends well. I don't know. But this one also has a bigger eraser that I do like. That part about it is nice. So yeah, but I like this and I like this, and I don't know. If I'm gonna grab a pencil, it's probably gonna be this one. If I can't find this one, I'll grab this one. And this one you can't. Can you buy replacement lead for? I think you can. This one you definitely can. What size is this? This is a 0.7. This is a 0.5. This just has a finer. It has a finer line. Okay, you guys, that's my little tips and tricks for what I like for crafting. Wow, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah. Hope that answers your question, Laura, on what supplies are my favorites. Yeah. Glad I could share that with you guys. I know sometimes you see people working with their stuff and it's like, oh, what has she got there? I'm not going to be great about putting a whole list of things that I use on my supply list, so on my description. So this is kind of one of those videos where it just, you get that all in one. So, and I got Fisker scissors. I date my scissors too. Yeah, we go out every now and then. No, I'm just kidding. 4/20/20. I got this in April. Anyway, yeah, it looks like I need to clean off my mat. Also another good thing for Hal and I. That's all. That is all, friends. I love you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being such supportive people and crafty people. And it's just fun knowing you. Even though we don't really know each other, it's just cool knowing that we have a connection through this wonderful crafting, beautify the world site. It's just fun. And that you found me. That's humbling to me. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day and you're healthy and getting ready for the holidays and it's good. And how about this? The Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you. And just, I hope you know his love for you. I love you too. You guys take care and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye and God bless.